magic.
It's
all magic. Welcome back to the lab with Leo. Steve Gibson is here from grc.com, our favorite security whiz. Also the author of Spin Right, which is my favorite, especially right now. My life-saving disk recovery and maintenance utility. We're going to talk about something that's actually been a hot topic on the net for the last 6 months, thanks to a New Zealand fellow named Peter Gutmann.
Yes, Peter is a well-known security researcher from years ago who decided to take a look at the new digital rights management technology, the DRM, copy protection, that's all built deeply into Windows Vista. And he produced a paper that just scared a lot of people.
It's very controversial, too.
Well, because he talked about how there are things like tilt bits, where if the system gets any sense that something is wrong, it'll shut down Windows.
Well, and wrong means you're trying to pirate something. Well, it thinks you might be trying to crack copy protection. That's what it means by wrong. Not wrong like it's not working properly. Wrong like you're trying to steal something.
Essentially what Microsoft did was, and they're defending it, saying they had no choice but to do this.
Hollywood made us do it.
Yes, they've turned Vista into, whether you want it to be or not, into a locked down, super tight digital content delivery platform.
Even if you have Vista Business, if you don't have a HD DVD player, even then it has all those features?
Yes, the problem is it wasn't something that could be added on. In order to make the system secure enough, they had to completely re-engineer down in the so-called operating system kernel in order to put in protection that was impossible to remove.
All this comes from the fact that Hollywood thinks of every PC as a piracy device.
Yes, Hollywood is not happy about PCs at all.
In general.
Yes.
So they basically put the screws to Microsoft saying, you make sure every PC is locked down so we don't have to worry about this.
And, there are DVD player software, Win DVD, Power DVD. They'll already play HD, that is high definition content, on XP. So people are saying, wait a minute, we can watch our HD movies on, with these players.
Yeah.
Well, Microsoft, decided they wanted to be more in the game. They must be looking at Vista as a platform for the home theater sort of mode, where you have a digital connection to a digital theater display. And so they're monitoring the integrity all the way from the disk, decrypting technology, and then moving it through the system all the way to the screen. And if anything along the way seems a little bit unsure, they'll shut it down. They do things, for example, like deliberately blur the picture to limit the quality of the picture if they can't verify and guarantee that there's no chance that there's decrypted data anywhere between the original source and the screen.
One of the things Gutmann said is that if you don't have the proper permissions to be playing back this premium protected content, as you said, the video will go lower resolution. You won't be able to play audio back through the optical port, perfect digital audio. It'll degrade stuff. And people were concerned that, oh my gosh, does this mean that if I'm, for instance, the example he used, a radiologist looking at x-rays, suddenly that image is degraded because I'm trying to play back an HD DVD? And Microsoft says no.
Right, and I believe Microsoft is right that all Peter was able to do was to produce this report from reading the specification.
This is the documentation Microsoft released.
Yes, yeah. And Peter was concerned that the entire screen would get blurry, as part of what Vista was trying to do, to say to the movie producers, look, we're just going to do whatever you tell us to do. Right. And that's really the issue, is that in the next generation media, in HD digital content, there can be a set of policies which Vista will follow religiously, which, for example, XP didn't know anything about.
But Microsoft does point out that if you're reading an X-ray and you're trying to watch an HD movie, the X-ray, even if the movie gets degraded because you don't have the proper keys or permissions, the X-ray is not going to be affected.
Because it's by window, not by screen.
So only the premium content channel will be affected.
Right. Now, there has been also concern that this was going to raise the cost of our hardware, because it used to be, for example, that you could get a high-performance digital adapter card, and it would have like all the chips locations filled in, but you could also buy a cheaper version of the same card that would have a bunch of stuff missing because you didn't have to have, a high-end card. Well, that was economical for the card maker because they were able to put things in only if they needed it and take them out where they weren't necessary. Well, the problem is that would expose those unused traces, would expose the digital content that would allow a pirate to literally hook their own wires to it.
The card could be hacked.
Yeah, exactly. You could hack the card. So now we're going to have a next generation of hack-proof adapters. The adapter cards have their own licenses and certifications. Basically, everything throughout the system now needs to be certified, and if a bug is found in any of these places, the license can be revoked, and the concern was, for example, your card could be shut down remotely by Microsoft.
Well, that's the design of this AACS copy protection.
The movie industry be able to do it.
And in fact, it might have been prudent of them because it's already been cracked. The AACS has already been cracked, and some players, in fact, can play back content illegally.
Yeah.
So, but nobody's revoked keys yet.
And
that's never happened yet.
That's what's so dumb about this is that copy protection has never been uncrackable, yet here's Vista with all this extra stuff now loaded on top of it, and it's already been cracked.
So let's go down the cost to the consumer of this copy protection that Vista is building in. You mentioned that some peripherals may be more expensive. They're harder to design. They have limitations on what they can do. Will it slow the machine down?
If there are bugs in them, bugs in drivers used to not be a big problem.
Right.
Now they're a much bigger problem. So the card manufacturers are going to have to be much more careful about the way the software is designed.
A flaw in the card could look like a piracy attempt.
It will now be a target of attack, where it didn't matter before.
Okay. All right. So cards are more expensive. Does it slow the system down?
There is some overhead because in order to prevent emulation of a card where software would pretend to be an adapter in order to sneak the digital content out, they now, several times a second, they have activity going to the card saying, prove to me that you're real, prove to me that you're real, even when nothing is going on.
Several times a second?
I think it's 300 times a second, actually. It's every 3 milliseconds.
Wow. Is it less reliable? Is Windows Vista less reliable because of this?
These tilt bits. If, for example, you plugged in a USB dongle that caused the power to glitch a little bit, that could be seen as a sign of someone hooking new hardware to the system. And our systems have been designed to be as resilient as possible. This removes some resiliency from our systems.
Bottom line, then, it sounds like this is bad for consumers. Is there anything we can do about it?
No.
You're stuck with it. If you're going to use Vista, it comes with Vista.
It's part of the package with Vista. Hopefully, the thing that's annoying is most people don't even need any of this.
I don't plan to watch HD DVDs on my computer. I've got a TV for that.
Exactly. And so it's because Microsoft wants us to move into the living room with their PC platform that they put all this in there, even if you don't need it.
You can read more about this, including Peter Gutman's original paper and Steve's response and Microsoft's rebuttal to Peter Gutman. It's all online on our website, which is thelabwithleo.com. And it's certainly worth reading. I have to say, though, Vista's been out for a few months now. We haven't seen any huge problems because of this yet.
There are little reports of people having problems with playing movies, but we really don't know what that's about.
Right. It's time to play What the Heck Is It?